Alright, Shalom Hebrews. This is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. A message from the Israelite Brotherhood. Alright, Hebrews, I want to start off by reading this. It's kind of important because, we Israelites, man, we've been in bondage for 400 years, and I don't think it's by accident that we, here all this time and so forth, and that we Israelites got to get an understanding of what's going on, man, before we go home or get free, because it wouldn't make no sense getting free and we still don't understand what's going on. That's like the serpent. If we don't understand the serpent or get some type of understanding of what's going on with the serpent, or what happened to the serpent, or what the serpent developed into, then it don't make no sense to get cut free and be free. Because if we go back home, and then we ain't learned about the serpent. You know what I'm saying? We go back home and we ain't learned about the serpent, and then the serpent able to trick us again. Then what? Use was it to go home? We in captivity, so we can learn about the serpent. It was the serpent worshippers that tricked us. And I'm going to show this. And if any Israelite don't understand this, then, man, it's awful for you. But the serpent worshippers tricked us. The serpent that was in Genesis had descendants. When you see that the sons went into the daughters of men and so forth. Oh man, the Cain, I already got it explained in some videos how the serpent gonna had to go in Cain or the serpent people, because they was around men before y'all even created us, and how it was a serpent, and he was real crafty. I'm talking about real crafty. The serpent so crafty. You know what I'm saying? The serpent so crafty in how that, it even said that the serpent to be crafty. And if it says it in the Tanakh, then, man, you can't comprehend how crafty the serpent to be. And I'm going to show that the serpent being super crafty, and man, super slick, and trick the whole world. And then basically everybody is his worshipers. And I'm going to show that all these peoples basically in our community is connected to the serpent. And man, that a lot of folks that dislike us and don't like us, well, they got serpent origin. They got a serpent origin. And I'm going to show this. It's awful, Israelites, and that, we in this mess that we in, but we ain't going to get out this mess unless we get some understanding of what's going on. And I'm finna show you, Israelites, what's going on, and that how it ain't real good at all. Alright? Now, let's go to Genesis. And it says, now the serpent was more suitable than any beast of the field which the Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, yeah, hath the Elohim said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yah said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, because he knew that a more or less an intoxicating plant, that it wasn't going to kill you, but it'll kill you at the same time. Because if you take an intoxicating plant and lose your normal faculties, that your morality is kind of low, and you tend to kind of do whatever, you know what I'm saying? You tend to do whatever if you're up under the influence. Alright? Yeah, you'll do kind of whatever when you're under the influence. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, for the Elohim doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then ye shall be open, your eyes, and For the Elohim know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant for the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make wise. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And that is the thing. A woman, a woman ain't supposed to be, a stranger. You know what I'm saying? And she got a man. That's why come it's good for a woman to be quiet and let her man lead the way. So see, that's why come it was important, men, to let the man lead the way. But how she stepped up and start conversating, and that'll piss me off. Man, you got a woman, and then she talking to another man. I'm talking about it's cool sometimes, but when it's something that Almighty Yah said don't do, and then you talking to another man, then you done strayed already, because your husband is who you supposed to stick with, and especially if he got the guidance by the Creator and so forth already. So she done went and got caught up in the mix. Look, for y'all do know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. See, he done probably ate of the plant and know he shouldn't have been eating. And he know what it'll do to you. So he rebellious. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant for the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, and she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. See, they was up under the influence. Something that altered their normal reality and perception. So the only thing that could have altered their normal reality and perception is going to be what that serpent told them to eat. And 9 out of 10 is going to be an opiate. It's going to be an opiate. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be an opiate. All right. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. They tripping. And they heard the voice of the Elohim Yah walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Elohim Yah amongst the trees of the garden. That they was high, paranoid. Something that altered their normal reality is going to be that intoxicating plant the serpent told them to eat. And that's like now, how the serpent got our community towed up with intoxicants of all kind, every kind you could think of, and then promoted through the rap industry. Got the raps, Israelites promoting it, man, the same as when he bruised our mama head. You know what I'm saying? And he bruising our head still. Yeah, got them singing about intoxicants and promoting it, because they know that you be at your right state of mind, and it's easy to misguide you when you under the influence and so forth. So that's what happened to our mama and our father. Serpent got them high. And the Elohim called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden and was afraid, and because I was naked, I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I command thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Elohim said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Yeah, he tricked her, because he talking about she gonna be wise, and he gonna be like Almighty Yah and have super knowledge and all this. So he tricked them. You know what I'm saying? So who wouldn't want some knowledge and so forth? So but they knew not to touch that plant anyway, because Almighty Yah instructed them not to. And the Elohim said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Now, a lot of Israelites ponder this, and they, like snakes can't, you know what I'm saying, that there was a serpent, a snake. No, he once could walk. He once could walk, but Almighty Yah broke him down, broke him down, broke him down for that, broke him down for that. And the serpent, you know what I'm saying, went around on his belly for real. And I'm going to show you who he is. I'm going to show you the serpent that was in the garden. And this is the one that Cain descendants mixed up with after they got kicked out the garden and stuff and went to Nod. Because, you know, the serpent, you know, man is going to, you know, he there. And then he going to go into the daughters of men. But let me show you this. Look. And the Elohim said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle. I mean, you're going to be lazy. And above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Now listen, the serpent's supposed to be on his belly and knowing that he gonna bruise our head and we gonna bruise his heel. Look at your boy right there. Look at him. Look at him. That's him. And that's Cain descendants right there. That's Cain descendants. And then they putting a crown on the serpent head. They putting a crown on his head. He was broke down. Look, he broke down. Almighty, y'all could break your genetics down. He could break your genetics down and turn you meaning something else. And then this will be why the serpent will want to mix back with the population and try to get rid of that serpent look that he was originally given with. But look, he got heels and everything. Look, heels, hands, and everything. He got broke down. And them folks standing around in amazement, in honor. And this is where the serpent worship gonna come from Cain descendants. It's gonna come from Cain descendants, and then it's gonna go to Mesopotamia. I already showed how they was underground in Turkey. You know what I'm saying? When the flood came, and that's where the serpent hid. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna show you how the serpent had another plan that if the flood came and tried to get his descendants, what they'll do. You know, and they try these structures into astronomical things, but I'm gonna show you another reason. But look, there you go. This the one. That's the serpent that was in the Bible. That's him. And they putting a crown on his head. They putting a crown on. So who gonna be putting a crown on his head? It can't be none but Cain descendants. Cain and his folks, they killed Abel. You know what I'm saying? They the only one kicking it with the serpent. You know the serpent, he gonna get chased out to God. He done got in and tricked y'all creation. He done tricked y'all creation because he trying to get out of work. You know, he here on earth. He here created on earth to do work. So he gonna be real crafty and try to find all kind of ways, meaning to get out of his work that he gotta do. You see what I'm saying? And then when he get cut loose, this where all the wickedness and all the sin that we know today come from. And look at him. He crawling on his belly. And he got heels. He crawling on his belly and he got heels. And they putting a crown on his head. That's Cain descendants. Look, let's go back over this again. In the end, look, we already know that the serpent is. Now the serpent was more suitable than any beast of the field which the Elohim had made. And he said unto woman, yeah, had y'all said ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. See, probably then folks done ate of it long time ago and they in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And then he gonna try to get everybody in trouble with him. That what the serpent want to have everybody in trouble with him. Look, and the Elohim said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this is Genesis 3:14. And because thou hast done this, Thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field, and upon thy belly shalt thou go. Look at your boy. Upon thy belly shalt thou go. And thus shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. So he gonna get down in the ground. He gonna need a pyramid and all kind of old structures, men to hide in. Men to hide in. Look at him. And then I show that back then the angelics and the peoples that lived in, men, they lived 800-900 years, 1,000 years. He might have got a couple of 1,000 years in, 1,000 years, or so forth, and then he spread his genes around. And then that's all he had to do. That's all he had to do was spread his genes around. And then they'll take over from there. Look at them putting a crown on his head. See, Almighty Yah broke him down. And there go his heels right there. Look, you see that heel? See that heel? You see that heel? He done broke him down. This your boy right here. This your boy right here, man. All this was written for a reason. Because those artifacts and those peoples and images are still around and wasn't going to go nowhere if they worship. And then the Tanakh was to reveal them later on to us while we in captivity. So when we wake up and go home, we don't be tricked again. Look, in the Elohim Yah said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field, and upon thy belly shalt thou go, in the dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. You know what I'm saying? So, we know the woman was giving some birth, but look at your boy now. Look at his heel. There go his heel right there, you see it. Man is off. And they putting a crown on his head. That's that serpent. That's that serpent. And then that serpent mixed over into Cain population. And then they'll start looking like this. They'll start looking like this. They'll start looking like that. And then, when they start mixing with some other folks, you know what I'm saying, they might catch one of Adam's descendants and mix with them or something, you know what I'm saying? And then, but the thing is that if they kept mixing with Cain descendants, and then it's like, they say that everything come from a woman, is because this. Now, let me show you. Let me show you why it all come from a woman. Why it all come from a woman. Why they say that, our enemies will say, well, everything got to come through a woman and stuff. That's because the serpent went into the woman. Look, and it come to pass when man began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that sons of Yah saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives, all which they knew. And there were giants in the earth in those days. Those people with some technology. Technology out of this world is why they call them giants. And them the structures that they build. Them the structures that they build. They build them in the Americas. The Americas were serpent worshippers. Serpent worshippers. Yes. And the Israelites be saying, we from the Americas. Man, the Americas, that's all they ever did was serpent worship. There wasn't no other worship here, but serpent worship was here first. Serpent worship was here first. Serpent worship was here first. And if you wasn't a serpent worship, you was probably going to get your mouth tore out. Ain't no Israelites been in Americas. I sure it wasn't no 10 lost tribes. But they were serpent worshipers. Guess who in our neighborhoods gobbling up our resources? The serpent worshiper children. Look. Serpent worship. Serpent worship in Africa. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all that the serpent build the pyramids, and all pyramids is associated with serpent worship all around the world. All around the world. All around the world. They build pyramids, and they all tied into serpent worship. And that's what the serpent leaders was. You know what I'm saying? I believe that after the flood, that the serpent, told them building pyramids that if some water comes, that the boss serpent can get at the top of the pyramid and maybe survive. You know what I'm saying? But they say that they tied it to astronomical things in the heaven, stars and so forth. You know, but we know that the serpent can find here on Earth and that he gonna be thinking about survival. And then check this out: in India, in India, they worship the serpent, the Nagas. Oh man, serpent temple, pyramid temples. They were sophisticated serpent worshippers in India, and guess what? India is leading the way with genetics, altering the genes and changing humans into animals and so forth, and how they part of that because they worship half animals, half humans and so forth. But I'm gonna show you that they serpent worship, and the serpent had them build those mega structures in India. And they were so sophisticated that they had temples built into their pyramids, whereas the other folks, me and the serpent just told them to throw a pile of rocks together. You know what I'm saying? Throw some rocks together. Whereas the folks in India, they were sophisticated serpent worshippers, real sophisticated serpent worshippers, and then they leading the way with altering genetics and humans, and as well as China too. You know, China serpent worshippers, and they was big men on serpent worship, and serpent worship is the original worship, man, before all the other religions were created by the serpent to throw the people off, to keep the people food, and he can conceal his worship and so forth. You know, and then that serpent worship in Egypt is what made us lose our covenant. We lost our covenant for serpent worship. But look here, it go like this. He gonna go into Cain descendants. Yeah. I mean, you know, he broke down, but he still probably can have sex. All right. They go his kids. They go his kids, and then they had half serpent, right? Now all it's gonna take is for them to go off back into Cain, uh, 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 uh Cain seed, and don't go back off into the serpent. You know what I'm saying? The serpent, what they call incest, and then bam, there you go. You see what I'm saying? There you go. One that is looking almost human, and then it's the thing, man. If it got big titties, and a big old behind, you know, a big old booty. Oh man, everybody gonna snatch it up. Especially the Hebrews guilty of that, man. How we got kicked out the land for going into the Canaanites. You know, they gonna be the descendants, men of the serpent, too. The serpent got into them from the Amorites. You know, the Amorites mixed with the Nephilims. Them gonna be the serpent and Cain kids. I already showed this and proved this. But look here, if this serpent woman looking half serpent but got some big titties and a big old booty, oh man, they gonna go into it. They gonna go into it. They gonna go into it without question. It's gonna get hit. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what it want. That's what it want. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna go get some titties and a big old behind, and man's on. You know what I'm saying? Now the serpent can move around now. You know what I'm saying? Free to move around. And now you got a serpent in China. Look, you know what I'm talking about? Man, that serpent be fine and looking good, but it's other serpent seed. You know what I'm saying? And that's where they come from. You know what I'm saying? And they got pyramids. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna show that the serpent had the pyramids built. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show that if all of them was built for serpent worship, and the serpent's children build them, and they tied in the serpent worship, then that explain the pyramid structures, man, and so forth, and that how the serpent had those pyramids in different lands, man, to identify his people and where they was. You know, a serpent might be roaming around. You need to know where his folks at, and then man, that pyramid over there. You know what I'm saying? And then that's where the serpent worship is at. And then look, that one in China. That one in China. That's a serpent. That's a serpent, half human, but it's more leaning on the human side, did they worship the serpent? All right, that's one and a half. You know what I'm saying? And they got a heel too. You know, the whole African Egyptian system caused us to lose our heritage. And then it ain't about pigmentation, because if it was about pigmentation, then, you know, that's like us Israelites, man, when we get confused, you know, we'll bypass. I mean, if we see some black folks, so-called black folks, doing some wickedness, that how we'll bypass it, and it don't mean too much to us, and how we'll get them a pass. But if it's somebody else doing the serpent worship, then, you know what I'm saying, that ain't in alignment with Tanakh, and that how we'll come after them. But if it's the black folks, we'll let them, you know, say, well, it's okay, it ain't bad. No, that's over with. Everybody got to be put on blast. You know, if they serpent worship, ain't no matter what pigmentation they got. You know what I'm saying? They serpent worship, and they are the serpent. Right. In South America, man, they had king serpents, man. I'm talking about serpent boss, a serpent boss, man. I'm talking about Egypt had serpent bosses, man. These the bosses, the kings, man. They sacrificed they folks. You know what I'm saying? They sacrificed they folks to the serpent. You know, if you got out of line, man, you sacrificed to the serpent. You know what I'm saying? And I guess the serpent had a way, man, of knowing that his kids was sacrificing. Look, the Egyptians. Snake worship. Snake worship. Worship the snake. Yes, he do. Yes, he do worship the snake. You know what I'm saying? Worship the snake. And those his kids. You know, we Israelites got to point the way. You know, but we got to point the way and point out the serpent worshipers. Man, and I'm going to show. You know what I'm saying? Look. Set. Man, I'm going to do this one, man, from over here. And I'm going to show you Israelites something. I'm going to show you Israelites something, man, that, man, it should make us reevaluate our relationships with a whole bunch of folks that we think are our friends, but really are not. You know, a lot of people say they are our friends, but they really ain't our friends, and they got other intentions and so forth, and that their intentions ain't just all the way right. And we can tell, you know what I'm saying, if you for us. And it's like a lot of folks know moving into our community. It's just like Tanakh say, it's just like this. Let me read it. Dang, I turned right to it. Then when I open the book up, the stranger this is Deuteronomy 28:48. The stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and pursue thee and overtake thee. Even if we ran off, they was gonna get us. And all these different ethnic groups in our community eating up our resources. We they whole paycheck. An Israelite is the other ethnic group's whole paycheck when they come to America, and they feast on us. They feast on us. But it's a reason. I mean, the reason why is because those folks, men is men connected to the serpent. Meaning, I'm gonna show this. Look, all right, for the Egyptians. Look what that say. Seth, and serpent worship, the association of the name of the god Seth with the Great Pyramid, a structure which appears to embody or to bear a relation to the chief scientific truth recognized by the ancient world. You know what I'm saying? So your boy Seth, me and your boy Seth, serpent worship. You know what I'm saying? Me and your boy Seth, man, the pyramids was did for him. You know what I'm saying? Built for him. So, you know what I'm saying? We already know that the Egyptians got serpents, men on their heads. All of them, all the pharaohs got a serpent on their head. Look here. And 2,000-year-old green serpent. No, not that right there. No, this is one with, oh yeah, all right. 2,000-year-old green serpent. Nah, that ain't it. Here it is. 2,000-year-old offering to serpent god found preserved. You know what I'm saying? In Mexico, in Mexico and South America, man, they found the 2,000-year-old sacrifice that was sacrificed to the serpent. Man, to your boy right here. Man, to your boy right there. That's your boy that was in Genesis. He just got around. And he over in America and he started creating populations and peoples and they start worshiping him. You're going to worship your original God. And that's what the natives all worship, serpents. Mexico, they worship serpents. In South America, they worship serpents. Serpent worshipers. Serpent worshipers. All of them. And all them folks in our community today. Look in India. India serpent worship. Look at that. All this is serpent worship. Top search deities from the snake worship. You know what I'm saying? All them Vishnu, all them Zeus, all them worship snakes. All them worship the snakes. And that's that South America snake king. You know what I'm saying? The snake boss. Quetzalcoatl, whatever that sucker name. But yes, in South America, mean that they worship the serpent. And then in India, the Nagas. The Nagas, you know what I'm saying? They worship the serpent. You know what I'm saying? And it tell you that serpent worship was everywhere. And that's why come they gonna have that pyramid. That's why come they gonna have that pyramid from India and it's because the serpent was there. See, right there. And you could type in they pyramid temples. Now the serpent was so sophisticated in India, mean that they build pyramid temples. You know what I'm saying? Where the rest of the spots, the serpent just told them to throw a pile of rocks together. You know, like I say, man, the serpent, he gonna be when everything break bad if some water come, cause that's what the serpent can remember got him last time. That the serpent probably gonna be on top of the pyramid. And that's where he gonna find him some safety at. Alright? All these folks serpent worship. All the folks that's in our community. Look in China. In ancient China, some of the river gods which were worshipped were depicted in the form of some sort of snake or snake being. You know what I'm saying? And then man, they go on, man, to tell you so forth and and the Chinese did snake worship, and then there she go. There she go. And they got a pyramid. You know what I'm saying? But we know that the South Americans and the Egyptians, the Africans, built their pyramids for serpent worship, and we know that all these other lands gonna be nothing did the same. And that's how serpent worship, man, that's how serpent worship got all around the world. Message from the Israelite Brotherhood. Serpent worship got all around the world, especially in the Americas. And serpent worship gonna try to get away, man, from us Israelites, man, over here in the promised land. You know what I'm saying? And spread out. And then it's been our job doing the covenant that prophet Moses gave us by way of Almighty Yah would extinguish serpent worship. That they can't do nothing to you if you following the covenant. If you doing the covenant and living righteous and doing righteous, man, the serpent, man, can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it takes the serpent power away from them. It's to follow Almighty Yah and do his law. See, all our enemies got serpent in them. Edom got serpent in them. The self-hearteds got serpent in them. All our enemies got serpent in them. All the folks in the Tanakh show this. In the Tanakh show this. Look, natives, man, they worship serpent. The Native Americans, they was serpent worshippers. They were serpent worshippers. I already proved this north and south. And they had a lot of pyramids everywhere. All in America's pyramids and so forth. And all the pyramids is tied into serpent worship. All the pyramids is for serpent worship. All the pyramids for serpent worship. So whenever you get an Israelite saying, we build the pyramids, you telling a lie. We ain't build no pyramids. And that the pyramids was built by the serpent and his worshippers for serpent worship all around the earth. And we was given the law from Almighty Yah to get rid of them. We was the antidote. We was the antidote. Alright? Yeah, man. In the Americas, they was big on it. Egypt, serpent worship. In Africa, serpent worship. And then let me get the pharaohs with the serpent on his head. You know what I'm saying? So you Israelites know. You know, Pharaoh, serpent on head. And we know that all this gonna be connected to your boy in Genesis, who had to get on down. You know what I'm saying? Had to get on down. Alright. Look. Cause he tricked down mama. Look. Look at his head. He gonna be a direct descendant of the serpent. And they even say that they descended of the gods and so forth and all that. He gonna be a direct descendant of the serpent. Look at that serpent on his head. Serpent. The serpent worshippers built the pyramids. So whenever you honoring the pyramids, you are honoring the serpent. You're honoring the serpent. Whenever you honor the pyramids, you're honoring the serpent. Alright, Israelites, this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood. I'm going to bring this little video to an end. I just wanted to show you, Israelites, that, the serpent is around. And his worshippers are all the folks that's against us. All our enemies is tied into serpent worship. And they going to have a origin, you know what I'm saying, with the serpent and so forth. And then let's go over this again. So our job is to point out the serpent and find out what's going on with him. Alright, Israelites, this is a message from the Israelite Brotherhood.